Chairman, whenever you're ready.
We are ready. Good evening, everyone. I now call to order the Thursday, May 22nd, 2025 meeting of the City of Sugar Land Planning and Zoning Commission. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. We will start with public comment. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
We do not have anyone signed up.
Then we will move on to 4A, consideration of an action on, okay, this says the May 12th, 2025 and the May 13th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. Is that still accurate? I know there was a correction made. Okay, so do you have the minutes for these two meetings in your packets? Any changes?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Brown. I've got a second from Commissioner Dawood. Are we voting by hand?
Yes, sir.
That passes unanimously among the members present. Thank you. We will go to item 5A, preliminary plat, Rye Hill Parkway, Section 3. Consideration of an action on the Rye Hill Parkway Street dedication, Section 3, preliminary plat. Hello, Jessica. Man, you're working hard tonight, it looks like. All right.
Sorry, guys. All right, good evening. So we have 4 plats on the agenda tonight. We have 2 preliminary plats. Those are the first 2 items on the agenda, and then we have 2 final plats. All 4 plats are for the Rye Hill development. The first item is for Rye Hill Parkway, Street Dedication Section 3, preliminary plat. So I'm just going to start out with my, background slides for preliminary plats, the box exhibit, and then I'll go into the Rye Hill background development, and then I'll start going to the overviews of the items. So again, just a reminder, preliminary plats, the purpose of them is to lay out the lots and streets to confirm that they meet the minimum lot sizes and that the right-of-way widths can be met. Reserves and access are shown on preliminary plats, but things like master notes, signature blocks, proposed easements are only shown on final plats, so you'll be seeing those on the last 2 items. Preliminary plats, again, are just to confirm that all those minimum dimensions will be met. The final plats are the ones that will be recorded at the county. Box exhibits are only provided with a preliminary plat. They are not provided with final plats, and they are only provided for plats that include residential lots. So the street dedication preliminary plats will not have these box exhibits, and the purpose of the box exhibit is to demonstrate that the proposed lots meet the required minimum lot widths at the front building line. And again, you'll only see those boxes on lots that are non-perpendicular, which are either on a curved street or cul-de-sac. Just an overview of the Rye Hill development, since all of the plots on the agenda tonight are part of this development. The City of Sugar Land entered into the development agreement with Pulte on December 5th of 2023. There have been 2 amendments since then to the development agreement. It's for a proposed approximately 968 master plan mixed-use community in the city's ETJ. It'll include a mix of approximately 2,300 homes, a mix of between single-family residential as well as Del Webb residential, which is that 55 and up community. The single family and Del Webb lots have minimum lot sizes that are outlined in the development agreement. Single family ranging from 40, 45, 50 foot and 60 foot wide lots, and the Del Webbs ranging from 40, 50 and 60 foot wide lots. There's an additional portion of this development that's north of FM 2759, and it's 60 acres of identified flex commercial uses. Because you guys have seen a lot of plots in the last 6 months, we've made this map to kind of outline the plots that you all have reviewed. So in the blue, these are going to be the sections that have approved preliminary plots. These are not on the agenda tonight. The green ones are preliminary plots that are on the agenda tonight. They're the first 2 items. This one's going to be the item that's currently under consideration, Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 3. And then, where'd the mouse go? And then this is going to be Rye Hill Section 4. That's the second item on this agenda. Then we'll be moving on to the final plats under consideration tonight. These are the red ones. So these already have approved preliminary plats. The third item on consideration tonight is going to be Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 2, final plat. And then we have this section, Rye Hill Section 2A. So just an overview of this section under consideration. Again, this is Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 3. It consists of 4.482 acres, and it's located south of FM 2759 and east of FM 762. just says, a heads up, all of these sections are located in this area, so I'm just going to read it for this item only. Rye Hill Parkway is going to connect to FM 62. That portion of it is in Rosenberg. That portion has already been recorded with the city of Rosenberg. And then the section 2 is the final plat we'll be looking at later. This is section 3 that's connecting to section 2. And eventually the future segments will extend south, connecting to the future extension of Reading Road. So here is the location of this section in reference to the Rye Hill General Plan. So as you can see here, it's adjacent to the section that we've already looked at previously, section 3. Section 4 we'll be looking at later tonight is up here. This is Rye Hill Parkway section 2, and then section 2A just for reference. So all of the residential sections are located within the single-family residential areas of the community. So here is the proposed preliminary plat. As you'll see, it's a little hard on the screen, but it references the section 2 over here. Here's the collector roadway, and then it's going to loop up with the roadway up to this section 4, which we'll be looking at, and this will be providing access to it. For this final or preliminary plat, we will be recommending a condition for it. The executive summary originally said that it was approved, but we will be recommending approve with conditions. That condition being that there's actually a drill site access easement that is currently located within this plat boundary. The applicant is in the process of abandoning or recording a document that states that the access easement will be abandoned within right-of-way boundary once it's recorded. The applicant is still working to get that recorded, so right now we're just making the condition that when they submit for the final plat, anything within 200 feet of the section that's existing is shown, and then they will be including a master note on the final plat that references that abandonment document. So just as a quick reminder, the commission has 3 options when reviewing preliminary and final plats. The commission may approve, approve with conditions, or disapprove with an explanation. For both the approval with conditions or the disapproval with an explanation, the commission has to cite a code reason. And for tonight, with the recommended conditions, we've gone ahead and provided the recommended condition as well as those code citings. And with that, staff is recommending approval of the proposed Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 3 preliminary plat with the following condition. So for this one, we're recommending that it show the existing 30-foot drill site access easement, county file number 2024-00195 OPRFBC on the face of the final plat, as required by Sugar Land Development Code Chapter 5, Article 1, Section 5-4.A, Section 5-4.C, and Section 5-11.K, Development Application Handbook, Section 4, Graphic Requirements, and Development Application Handbook, Section 4, Preliminary Plat Checklist. The second condition is include a custom note for the abandonment of the 30-foot drill site access easement that may fall within this future right-of-way, and fill in the recordation number once the abandonment document has been recorded, as required by Development Code Chapter 5, Article 1, Section 5-4A, Section 5-4C, in Section 5-11K, Development Application Handbook, Section 4, Preliminary Plat Checklist, Development Application Handbook, Section 4, Graphic Requirements, and Development Application Handbook, Section 4, Master Notes for plats in the ETJ and city limits of Sugar Land. And I'm available to answer any questions you may have, and the applicant is also here.
Questions for staff? I'll make a motion to approve. Oh, you have? Okay, we'll go. If you have questions, just speak up.
Thank you for the presentation.
Smith?
So I noticed on all of the plats, there's a 1-foot easement off of the roadway.
Yes.
And when I read the description, it was talking about it's a buffer between, the construction and public. So I didn't really understand, what is that 1 foot?
It essentially just prevents access to the other properties in the right-of-way. As soon as there's platted land adjacent to that right-of-way, the buffer goes away. So it essentially just protects.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the land, so it's not like room for like drainage or something
No,
like
it's a
that?
buffer protecting the right-of-way.
Okay.
So from unplatted land.
Okay, thank you.
You had a question? Commissioner?
Yes. So in this plat, where it mentions the 30-foot pipeline easement, the county clerk's file number is missing.
Yes, so I went and checked the development application handbook, the graphic requirements for preliminary plats, and it does just say that they need to only include recordation information, so the provided volume and page number would be sufficient in providing recordation information.
Because it's a preliminary plat?
It's just, I believe it's the same thing for a final plat, that you just need to provide recordation information, and the volume and page number is considered recordation information.
I'm used to seeing clerk file number on the plats. So I know that the rules are not different for Fort Bend County versus Harris County. So it's just unusual just to see a volume number and just a page number. Maybe is that what you're saying is the rule, and they don't need to provide a county clerk's file number
They
on that?
can provide it, but the volume and page number is sufficient recordation information to find those documents.
All right.
Any other questions? I'll make a motion to approve the plat with the stated conditions.
Second.
Got a second from Commissioner Smith. Any further discussion? Hand vote, please. That passes unanimously among the members present. Thank you. 1 down, 3 to go. Let me call the next item. The next item is 5B, consideration of an action on the Rye Hill Section 4 preliminary plat.
All righty, okay. So this is the last preliminary plat under consideration tonight. So this is Rye Hill Section 4 preliminary plat. It's 39.7 acres of single-family residential. It consists of 177 lots, 9 reserves, and 4 blocks. The lot widths range from 45 to 50-foot wide lots, with those corner lots being an additional 10 feet in width. Again, it's located south of FM 2759 and east of FM 762. And access to this section will be provided via Rye Hill Parkway, as you saw in the last section. And here's just a little snippet of where this section is located within the Rye Hill General Plan. Again, it's this light yellow signifying that it is single-family residential. And so here is the proposed plat. This is where it's going to get connection from that section that was previously considered. There are 9 reserves that are listed here, majority of them being for drainage and open landscaping, and then ranging from those 45 to 50-foot wide lots. And then on the box exhibit, you can see that those boxes were provided to show the minimum lot width is being met on those lots that are either on a cul-de-sac, as you can see here along the northern portion, and then as well as curved right-of-way. And with that, staff is recommending approval of this proposed Rye Hill Section 4 preliminary plat. And again, I'm available to answer any questions you have, and the applicant is here for this one as well.
Just to clarify, there's no conditions being proposed for this one,
No
correct?
conditions proposed for this one.
Questions for staff? I'll make a motion to approve the Rye Hill Section 4 preliminary plat.
I'll second.
Got a second from Commissioner Brown. No further discussion? Hand vote, please. That passes unanimously among the members present. Thank you, Commissioners. 5C, consideration of an action on the Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 2 final plat.
All right, for this one, this is the first final plat that's being considered tonight. This is Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 2. As I previously mentioned, this already has the preliminary plat that was approved. It was the first plat of this development that you all approved. It was back in December 10th, 2024. It consists of 12.376 acres. Again, located south of FM 2759 and east of FM 762. And again, it's going to connect to this first segment of Rye Hill Parkway that's in Rosenberg's city limits. And then the Rye Hill Parkway Section 3 that was just considered for the preliminary plat will connect to it over here. And here is an excerpt of it from the general plan. So this is the approved preliminary plat that was approved after consideration at that December meeting. So this is broken up into 3 different match line sheets. because it's a very large section. And then this is the proposed final plot. I do want to make some comments about this one because there are a few recommended conditions with this. So as you can see here, this is the drill site access easement that was referenced for the other Rye Hill Parkway section. Again, they're in the process of getting a document recorded that essentially will abandon the portions of this drill site access easement that's located within right-of-way once it's been recorded. So what the applicant is showing right now is the drill site access easement as it stands right now, but once they get that document recorded, they will be removing it from the face of the plat, and they will be filling in a blank file number on the master notes. It's master note 40, referencing why that drill site access easement is no longer shown within the boundary of this right-of-way. The second thing that I want to note is regarding where they're showing their city of Rosenberg limits as well as the city ETJ limits. We have come to realize that they are not showing it accurately, so that is another one of the conditions that we are having them show that boundary correctly. And then the last one is for this center point easement. They have, after this plat was added to the agenda, they abandoned all of the center point easements except for 2 within this development. And so this is one of the ones that was abandoned, so they will be removing this from the face of the plat since it no longer exists. So with that, I'll go into the recommendations. Actually, it might be more helpful if I show you what it'll kind of look like. So I've kind of shown what I've just kind of covered. So with the conditions, it's going to be adding and filling in this file number on Master Note 40, referencing that abandonment document. This is the correct boundary line. So this is where it's going to be City of Rosenberg on the outer corner of it, and then City of Sugarland ETJ on the inner corner of it. You can see here that they have removed the drill site access easement from the center, and then they would be removing that center point easement. So going back, I will go ahead and read the recommendation. So with that, staff is recommending approval of the proposed Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 2 final plat with the following conditions. To fill in the recordation number for the abandonment of the 30-foot drill site access easement in Master Note 40, as required by Development Code Chapter 5, Article 1, Section 5-4A, Section 5-4C, and Section 5-11K. Development Application Handbook Section 4, Final Plat Checklist. Development Application Handbook Section 4, Graphic Requirements. And Development Application Handbook Section 4, Master Note List for plats in the ETJ and city limits of Sugarland. Next condition is remove the 30-foot drill site access easement from the right-of-way on the face of the plat, as required by Development Code Chapter 5, Article 1, Section 5-4A, Section 5-4C, and Section 511K. Development Application Handbook Section 4 Graphic Requirements, and Development Application Handbook Section 4 Final Plat Checklist. Next condition is removing the 10-foot Houston Light and Power easement with the 20-foot by 20-foot aerial easement centered from the face of plat, as required by Development Code Chapter 5, Article 1, Section 5-4A, Section 5-4C, and Section 5-11K, Development Application Handbook Section 4 Graphic Requirements, and Development Application Handbook Section 4 Final Plat Checklist. The final condition being recommended is to correct the jurisdictional boundary between the City of Sugarland's ETJ and the City of Rosenberg city limits outside the plat boundary to reflect official boundary data, as required by Development Code Chapter 5, Article 1, Section 5-4A, Section 5-4C, and Section 5-11K, and Development Application Handbook Section 4 Graphic Requirements.
Could you read that again? Questions for staff?
I do. So just help me explain that since this is a final plat, why should we be recommending approval with so many errors?
The applicant has requested to be on this agenda. They are needing to get access to some of the sites that they are wanting to start developing. So staff has recommended that these conditions be placed on the final plat and will not be released for signatures and recordation until these items have been addressed.
How long does that take to get these corrected, have them on the signature block, and come back to you?
I'm going to let the applicant speak to their process right now.
Come on up and please just introduce yourself for the record.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Chad Hartman with Pape Dawson with the engineers for this. So the anticipation of the drill site access easement is to be signed by the end of this week. So we'll have it recorded. If we don't have it recorded by the end of the week, it'll be the start of next week. The Centerpoint easement has been abandoned already. And then the adjustment to the boundary was identified yesterday, and we have that completed in-house now. So everything for the conditions are nearly complete. The only thing is waiting on the drill site to be signed so it can be recorded. And we anticipate that no later than the start of next week.
May I ask a follow-up, Commissioner?
Yes.
While we've got the
Yeah.
applicant here. So here's my question along the similar lines. From your perspective, is there a difference between us approving the plat with conditions, knowing that those conditions have to be met, then the final plat has to be generated with all those corrections, then signed and entered of record, versus us denying the plat with the conditions that those things be fixed before they come back before us? What's the difference between those two scenarios from your perspective?
Our situation is the developer is in a unique scenario where they have a land bank versus they have purchased the property. It's a land bank purchase, and they have a contractual obligation with that land banker to deliver lots by a certain time. And we're against that deadline now, which is why the request to be on this agenda, knowing that we would have conditions on the approval, which is the reason we requested to be on this agenda. They're against that deadline where they're contractually obligated to purchase lots, and they cannot purchase the lots until the plat has been recorded.
When did they enter into the contract?
I don't know exactly when they entered in the contract. I know that they have to be able to purchase lots before June, and we're at that last opportunity.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So,
Lisa?
Just to give you an idea, kind of also of the timing aspect, because that was kind of part of your question, I think, as well. So with having this on the agenda tonight, and again, with all the conditions, we wouldn't be able to release it, obviously get it for signature and start the recordation process until all of those that we're satisfied that those are met, all of those conditions are met. From a standpoint of timing, and again, what Chad has mentioned is there's a matter of a week or two by which they're getting those final documents recorded, versus if there is a denial, it would be roughly, sometime maybe end of June, early July before this would be back before you, just because of the timing of meetings and preparations for that. So a couple of weeks versus maybe a month and a half kind of timing wise, just to give you an idea of kind of just what that might look like.
so just a question for clarity based upon a comment that you had said. So if I understood you correctly, you said that until this is actually registered, so I would think that meant before it was signed, you couldn't purchase land. So if we were to approve it, it's still not going to be final because it wouldn't have the signatures.
Correct, but that goes back to what Lisa just said, in that we would only potentially be out 2 weeks versus a month and a half, in which they would be past their deadline in which they're required to purchase the lots from the land banker.
I have a question. Just for my...
1 second.
Sorry.
Do you have any more follow-up?
Don't you sign the
Yeah, well, I'm going to
plats?
ask about
Okay.
that.
I'll let you ask
I want to make sure you have any more
Yes.
questions. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry,
go ahead.
My question is kind of along those same lines. Is this thing was originally approved December the 10th. Why 5.5 months?
There were a series of back and forth issues that we're dealing with, trying to get some specifications dealt with the Fort Bend County and everything. In that process, it was also dealing with trying to deal with the drill site access easement, updating the general plan, There were several other aspects that did take time to get to that point, yes.
And I would just share with my fellow commissioners here, I'm dealing with one in my job right now that is a general easement that was placed over roughly 2,000 acres in Conroe. We've been trying to get CenterPoint to do away with for 4 months. It's not uncommon to have these things take a little bit of time. Staff, you're okay, just from my question, that if we were to approve this, that you would make sure this gets handled properly before there's any recordation, any signatures,
Yes.
and ultimately recordation?
Yes, we will review the abandonment document for the drill site access easement, as well as reviewing the updated plat boundary to ensure that it has met the conditions that we're recommending.
Thank you.
I have another question, at least one. Okay, so when this is actually presented, since I have to sign it, right? Is it the case that when you present this plat to me to sign it, you will show me the old plat,
We can.
the new plat with the corrections, and you'll have the list of conditions with you so that those can be verified?
We can, yes. Obviously what you'll be signing is the Mylar. We can present the hard copy that you are reviewing tonight and then show it against the Mylars that you will be
Okay.
presented with to sign.
I'm going to see if there's any other questions, and then I'll comment. No other questions? My comment is this: I'm going to make a recommendation that I move that we approve the Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 2 final plan with the stated conditions. I don't love it. I don't love being in this position. I feel like there's been plenty of time for this to get done, and the fact that you're running up against a last-minute deadline is not the fault of this commission. My preference would be that we only get presented with plats that are ready to go, but I understand it, and I think I speak for myself. We definitely want to show flexibility with our applicants, and that having been said, that is my motion. Is there a second? I've got a second from Commissioner DeWood. Any other discussion? All right, let's vote. One. That passes unanimously among the members present. Thank you. I'll look forward to seeing those items in the very near future. Item 5D, consideration of an action on the Rye Hill Section 2A final plat.
Yes. Last item, last final plat, Rye Hill Section 2A. So this is, the preliminary plat for this was approved in January 14, 2025. It consists of 11.44 acres of single-family residential with 40 lots, 3 reserves, 3 blocks. This section has a large mix of lot sizes, 40-foot, 45-foot, 50-foot, and 60-foot wide lots, with those corner lots being an additional 10 feet in width. And access for this will be provided via Rye Hill Parkway, specifically the section that was just approved. And then here is an excerpt of this section from the general plan. As you can see, this is the Rye Hill Parkway Section 2. It will be getting access from it here. So this is the section. Again, here's Rye Hill Parkway. It is just these lots here, cul-de-sac, and then these lots with the reserves. I apologize. This is the approved preliminary plat, and then here is the final plat that's under consideration tonight. Staff is recommending that this one have a condition, and it's only, the condition is so that it can get access. So what staff is recommending is approval of this proposed Rye Hill Section 2A final plat with the condition that let me read exactly what it is. Approval and recordation of Rye Hill Parkway Street Dedication Section 2 final plat prior to the recordation of Rye Hill Section 2A final plat to ensure recorded access is provided as required by Development Code Chapter 5, Article 1, Section 5-4A, Section 5-4C, Section 511K, and Section 5-216, and Development Application Handbook, Section 4, Graphic Requirements. And I'm available to answer any questions.
Questions for staff? Could you explain the condition?
Yes. So in order to have recorded access to this section Rye Hill Parkway street dedication section 2 final plat needs to be recorded. So they can go at the same time to the county to be recorded, but we want to place this condition to ensure that we do not sign the Mylars for this section until this section is ready.
Makes perfect sense. Were there any differences between the preliminary plat and the final plat?
A lot of it is just the addition of the required easements for utilities.
But other than that, it's the same.
It's the
as
same
what we
layout.
saw. All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the Rye Hill Section 2A final plat.
I'll second.
I'm going to give the second to Commissioner
1
Smith.
second, did you approve with condition or just?
With the
approve?
condition, I'm sorry, thank you, with the state, yeah, to be clear, my motion is to approve the Rye Hill Section 2A final plat with the stated condition. Thank you, Anjali. And I've still got a second on that from Commissioner Smith. Any further discussion? Please vote by hand. That passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jessica. Tell the city that I said they should buy you a nice dinner tonight. We will move on to item 6A, Planning and Zoning Commission Liaison Report from the May 13th City Council meeting. Commissioner Patel, was that you, I think?
Yes, it was business as usual. That was the day, I think, yes, that was the day Rob and Rick Miller took their oath, took their positions. As related to planning and zoning, that was a night that they voted on the incentives given to the Lovett developer. It was like $24 million. 5.3 was to tear down the building. Around 7 million was for the parks, and then 10 million towards the infrastructure. I think that's it. Did I miss anything, Lisa?
Lisa?
They also approved the concept plan for the redevelopment of the Lake Point
Yes,
tract as
yes,
well.
yes.
So
that
it was
was
the Lake
it.
Point concept plan and some money.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. 6B, City Staff Report. Lisa, feel free to stay up there.
Yeah, I'll just stay up here. So yes, your next meeting will be June 10th. That's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday meeting. We'll have some great stuff on the agenda for you. We do plan to have a meeting, so we will see you then.
We look forward to
Thank
it.
you.
Anything else? All right, I'll move to adjourn. I've got a second from Commissioner DeWood. Vote, that passes. We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone. Good night.